Greetings, yogis. Welcome to Yoga at MAM, the Milwaukee Art Museum. My name is Steve, and I have the honor and privilege of hosting today's session and leading you through a practice. Before we do, there are a couple of things I'd like to get through first. We encourage everyone, particularly in these times, to take some moments in every day to recharge, refresh, reconnect. Self-care is incredibly important now, and it's said in many different formats and many different mediums, but it can't be said too much. And yoga is an excellent way to do that, as it turns out. So take time to pause and come together from wherever you might be, and we will together conduct this virtual yoga practice at the MAM. I do need to say that as a nonprofit organization, both the museum as well as Om Yogis, who is proud sponsor of this event, rely heavily on these kinds of events being live, like Yoga at MAM. And while this virtual event is certainly free to all and open to the public, we hope that you will consider making a contribution during this challenging time. You can visit either Hometown Yogi's website or Milwaukee Art Museum in order to accomplish that. So, without further ado, we're going to start a little practice here. So, just for a moment, settle in seated and sort of establish yourself. And if you need some kind of props underneath your, not underneath your head, underneath your bottom, for elevation of the hips in order to make yourself comfortable, I'm using a blanket here. You are welcome to use blocks if you have blocks, or a pillow can sometimes work. And speaking of blocks, we don't need blocks today, but if you have something that is either block, a yoga block, or block-like, a yoga block substitute, then please feel free to grab that. And we can, a couple of those might be handy for a couple of the poses that we have. All right, so let's get started by lying down, if you would. So come onto your back. That's an easy place to start. As you settle in, you can take any position you wish with your arms and legs, but I'm going to suggest maybe taking your feet a little wide on the mat and just allowing the knees to sort of fold in toward the center line. They may touch, they may not, it doesn't matter. And then hands to belly can be helpful just to get some tactile sensation to start to direct attention to the breath. So as we do that, you might leave hands on belly if it's comfortable, and just notice your natural rhythm of the breath for a moment. Notice, as we say, how the body breathes itself. And then if you do any particular style of breathing to accompany your practice, ocean breath or ujjayi being the most common, any way you want to get there, begin to deepen both the inhale and exhale. Take a few rounds of breath to kind of establish what for you is your maximum comfortable length of breath in and out. And then you can move your hands out to the side wide, forming a T with your arms. And take a deep inhale, and then as you exhale, let the knees fall over to the right side. And inhale back to center. Make it real easy. Exhale, knees go to the left. You might turn your head over the opposite shoulder if that's comfortable for your neck. Coming back to center, knees to the right once again. And returning to the middle, we'll go left. Just a gentle motion to start to stretch out the structures on the back side of the body through the hips. One more time each side. All right, and then returning to center this last time, you might walk your feet in toward the middle a little bit. Place your hands down at your sides for a moment, and then bring one knee at a time into your chest. And as you do that, you can take your hands behind the knees or behind the thighs, wherever it's convenient. As you inhale, go ahead and lift your heels up toward the ceiling. And then exhaling, lower them back down. Keep your feet and legs relaxed. Inhale, lift, stretch through the backs of the legs. Exhale, and lower down. One more time, up And this time as you rise, you might keep the feet lifted into the air and just do a little motion through the ankles, through the feet. Spread the toes if you have that ability. And just sort of explore. Notice where you find space, where maybe you find tension. And then releasing your heels back down toward your bottom. Place your hands on your kneecaps, one on each kneecap, and just little circles of the knees. So we're trying to get some more action through the thighs, through the hips, the low back. So you can turn in one direction and then turn in the other. And then crossing knees, or ankles rather, you might come up to seated by rolling up or pressing up and around, whatever works for you. We're going to sit on heels. And if this isn't comfortable for you, I'm showing here a blanket. Sometimes placing a blanket behind the knees can be helpful. And if you have a block or a block substitute at hand, you can sit on that instead of sitting directly back on the heels if that's tight for your knees. And if that doesn't work, any other sitting position will do. Hands at your sides. As you inhale, raise your arms into the air, reach your fingertips high. As you exhale, bend the elbows, arms wide like goalpost arms. Inhale, raise the fingertips high. Exhale, return your hands back to your sides. Lower the chin. As you lift the chin, lift the arms. Look up. Exhale again. Bend the elbows. Inhale, lift high. Exhale, hands return to the ground. Let's do that one more time. Get some action in the neck as you lift the chin. Maybe this time we do a little twirl of the wrists. Start to get some heat, some motion in there. You can make fists, widen the fingers. And then return your hands to your side with an exhale. All right, let's do some other stuff. Inhale, arms halfway up. And then bring your hands together in front of you as you exhale. Inhale, lift the fingertips toward the ceiling. Have them meet if you can. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Release your hands to the ground again. Inhale, lift halfway up, arms out wide. Exhale, hands come to the center. Inhale, lift the fingertips high. Exhale, hands back to the heart. One more time. Release hands out to the side. Inhale, arms wide, halfway. Meet your palms in front of you. Lift and stretch. You might even do a little back bendy kind of a thing with this. And then drag your hands back to heart center. Exhale. Pause here for a moment. And you might want to express an intention here or keep someone in mind as a dedication for your practice today. So take something into your heart space if something occurs to you. All right, we're going to come on to hands and knees now. So typical old table pose, setting yourself up with the wrists below the shoulders, knees below the hips, tops of the toes, maybe even the tops of the feet are flat on the floor, and just a nice neutral spine with the head and neck in line with the spine. And then just do a little action to sort of move around a little bit. So you can kick one hip out and look over that shoulder, kick the other out, work through the spine a little bit, maybe crawl into the fingertips a touch, free the neck, whatever feels good. Make it a freestyle. All right, and then coming back to a nice neutral table pose, we'll do what we call Chakra Bakasana. As you inhale, lower the belly, lift the chest, lift the chin. As you exhale, hips reach back to the heels, chest toward the thighs. Inhale, coming up, find your table pose, and then stretch the spine toward the floor as you lift the chin. Exhale, chin to chest as you reach back, hips to heels. Couple more rounds. Find some freedom in this and see what you can do to attach your breath to your movement. Breath to the movement. So I often say that it's like the bones of the spine are the symphony and the breath is the director of the orchestra. Couple more rounds. Make it smooth, make it deliberate, and tune in. All right, maybe one or two more times. And then as you come back to neutral table pose this time, settle in for a moment. You might shake out your wrists a little bit. We're going to be doing stuff on the wrists and knees for a bit. Now settling back into table pose. Take an inhale just like before. Belly draws down, chest lifts, and then as you exhale, hips to heels. This time as you inhale, you're going to come back to table pose, shoot your right arm forward, your left leg back, and then return everything to the floor, hips to heels, exhale. Inhale coming forward, left arm comes forward, right arm back, thumb points to the ceiling, and then return back and down, child's pose. Let's do that some more. Inhale forward, right arm, left leg, reach them high. And then return, release, descend. Left arm, right leg once more. I say once more, I think we'll do it once more after this. One more round each side like this. Come on forward, right arm, left leg, stretch them long. And then return back and down. And left arm comes forward, right leg back. And then release once again. Let's add on to this a little bit. As you come forward this time with your right arm, left leg, we'll stay here, but bring the knee to the elbow underneath, curl up, and then reach away, inhale. Exhale, draws in, strong belly, reaching back toward the spine. Inhale, get long, get tall. Once more, draw in, and then reach all the way out long. This time, return the knee, the hand to the mat as the hips go to the heels. Let's do the other side. Here we go. Left arm, right leg. Draw in with the exhale. Reach long with the inhale. 2 more times. Really get the abdominal wall to engage as you do this drawing in, curling up. Yeah, once more. Inhale. And then return, hips to heels. This time you might create a little space between your knees for a little more extended child's pose. Forehead to or near the floor. And rest. All right, why don't you go ahead on an inhale, lift up. Walk your hands over toward the right side of your mat. You might even take the left hand, cross it onto the top of the right hand. Do a little side stretch. Take a couple of breaths into your left ribs. Relax the head, relax the neck. And then as you inhale, walk hands over to the left side. Same thing. If it's comfortable for you, cross the right hand over the left. Stretch through the left arm to encourage that right side to get longer and longer. Create some room for the breath. Some freedom for our practice. As you inhale, come back to center. And then bow straight down through the center. Take a couple of breaths here. All right, coming back up to hands and knees. Set your knees at hip distance. And then I think we're going to take the left leg behind us straight and then swing it out to the side. Set your left heel on the floor, toes point toward the ceiling, hips back toward the heels. And then come back up, swing the leg all the way around to the right side. Coming back over to the left, hips to heels. Reach the swing the foot over to the right. All right, one more time. Reach back, swing the leg around, and return both knees back to the mat. Send the right leg back, same thing. Stretch through the heel first, and then leg goes over to the right side. Heel on the floor, toes point to the ceiling. Reach the hips back down, and then swing the leg across. Come on over again, over to the right side. Send the hips back, sink, and then swing the toes over to the left. Back to the right last time. And then return back to table pose. Settle in a couple of breaths. You might walk your hands forward a little bit, curl your toes under. Let's do a downward dog. First one of the day, here we go. So explore your dog, whatever helps you to establish yourself with both the solidity, the firmness, the grounding of the hands and feet, and the strength, the length through the back, through the hips, through the legs. And if downward dog doesn't particularly appeal to you, you can always stay on hands and knees doing table pose. Another breath or two here. And then with an inhale, lift your chin, look up, and take a walk to the front of the mat, but do a tightrope. So one foot in front of the other, step, step, step. Big bend in the knees as you need to get to the top. And then when you arrive, set your feet at hip distance. Allow your head and neck to release. Grab opposite elbows. Take a swing from side to side, ragdoll. Just let gravity do its work through the back, through the shoulders, the back of the neck. You might explore your feet, your toes a little bit while we're here. And then release fingertips toward the ground. All right, inhale. We're going to start to roll up slowly. Take your time. Rolling, 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 stacking the spine, coming all the way to standing, drawing the shoulders back a little bit. You make some movement, might make some movement through the shoulders, and then as you inhale, raise arms into the air, palms together. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. Long spine, exhale, lower down. Walk your feet back, find a plank pose. Lower knees to the mat to modify this if it serves your shoulders or wrists. As you exhale, bend the elbows, release to the floor slowly. Turn your feet over. Inhale, lift the chest just a little bit. Baby Cobra pose first time. Exhale, press back onto knees, curl toes under, downward dog. Explore some more. Make this a new dog for you, different than the first one. It's easy sometimes to get caught in our patterns and sort of space out if you've done yoga often and done the same things a lot of times. Try and make this an opportunity to explore anew each time. Bend the knees on an inhale. Lift the chin. Walk feet to hands, forward fold. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, bow again, belly in. Swing the arms out wide. Lift through your center. Meet your palms. Bring your hands to heart center. Let's do some more. Inhale, lift the arms. Press palms. Release, forward fold. Halfway rise. Find a plank pose. Spend an in-breath in plank, and then with your exhale, elbows bend slowly as breath releases, all the way to the floor. Toes turn over. Inhale, lift the chest, maybe a little higher this time. Exhale, down dog. Settle in once again. A new round, a new downward dog. Notice what you notice. There is no correct answer to what to notice. It's your experience. As you inhale, bend the knees, look up. And as you exhale, 1 or 2 steps, top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Arms wide to the sides. Meet your fingertips above your head. Bring your hands back to heart center. Let's do one more round. Arms rise. Lower into a fold. Halfway up. Length along the front of the spine, and then hands plant as feet step away. Plank pose. Slowly release to the mat, maybe halfway down into chaturanga if that's your style. Inhale, lift, cobra, or maybe up dog if you're ready for it, followed by downward dog. Another exploration of down dog. Couple of breaths. Next, inhale, knees bend, lift the chin, and return feet to hands forward fold. Halfway rise, inhale. Exhale, lower down, relax the neck. Inhale, swing the arms up, meet palms, present them to the heart space. Good, bring your feet close together now. And sort of settle in and just take stock. How do you feel at this moment? Where is your mind? Where is your body? How do they present themselves to you? What information do they provide? No judgment, just observation. All right, hands rest at your sides. Sun Salutation B. Inhale, swing the arms forward as you bend the knees, sink the hips back, find a chair pose. Take an inhale there. On your next exhale, we're going to twist to the right. Right arm forward, twist to the left, sorry. Right arm forward, left arm back. And then we'll twist to the right. Left arm forward, right arm back. Coming back up to center, still in chair, and that falls us into downward dog or forward fold, with an exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Here we go. Plank pose, chaturanga, upward dog, downward dog. Take your time arriving in down dog. With an inhale, right leg lifts. Bring the right foot forward, swing it to the top of the mat. Left heel descends to the floor. As you inhale, both arms into the air. Use the expression of the breath to rise. Stay here a few breaths. Next time you exhale, return hands to the mat. Walk the foot back. Find your plank pose. 2, chaturanga, upward dog, downward dog. Left side, same thing. Left leg rises. Left foot forward, plant it. Seal the right heel to the mat. Rise with the inhale. Warrior 1, Vajrasana 1. Long arms, wide fingers, extending through the back foot. Feeling your foundation and feeling your breath. Exhale, return hands to the mat. Plank pose, chaturanga, up dog, down dog, in that order. Some breaths in downward dog. If you need it here or anytime, child's pose is always an option to take a little break. A couple more breaths in down dog. With an inhale, knees bend, lift the chin. Walk to forward fold. Halfway lift. Lower back down. Arms rise, we find our chair pose. Let's do that twist again. As you exhale, let's go to the right this time first, which is what I did last time, where I said. And then come back to center, inhale. And then swing to the left. Little turn of the chest. Back to center. And then you can straighten your arms and legs and come to samastiti, as we call it in the tradition. All right, let's do a little balance stuff, shall we? So as you inhale, settle into your left foot, lift your right knee as the arms go up. And then you can straighten your right leg if that serves you well. We're going to be here for a couple of breaths. So this really kicks in the quadriceps, gets them working on the right side. Stabilizing through the left hip, pressing through the left foot. One more breath here. Well, maybe 2 more breaths here. What do you think, Steve? You done? Yeah, good. Go ahead, bend the knee. Now, reach around with the right hand. Grab your right foot or ankle. Maybe the left hand joins as well. If you need a wall to support yourself, find a wall to do this. Something to lean on. And then send the right knee toward the floor as you lift through the front of the right hip. Take 2 more breaths. Feel the shoulder blades draw down and together. Feel the lift through the crown of your head. And settle into your left foot. 1 more breath. Good. Go ahead and release. Shake your legs out real quick. And we'll do the other side. So the right leg will settle into the mat. As the arms rise, the left knee lifts. Stay here, or for a little greater challenge, send the left heel forward. Pull the toes toward you. And as best you can, settle in. For a lot of people, this is going to fire up the left quadricep. They're going to feel this pretty quickly. If you get crampy at all, then go ahead, bend the knee. There's no glory in having cramps or any other kind of discomfort while we're doing practice. And then go ahead, lower the hands, bend the left knee, reach around, grab the left foot with your left hand. Maybe the right foot will reach back as well, maybe not. Drive the left knee toward the floor as you lift through the front of the left hip. So we're trying to establish some length through the front of the left thigh. Take 2 more breaths. If you fall out of balance, take your time coming back in. Any balance is good balance, whether you can do it for 2 seconds or 2 minutes. Go ahead, release the foot to the floor, shake your legs out. All right, back at the top of the mat, feet at hip distance. As you inhale, arms up. Exhale into a forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant both hands on the ground. Step your left foot way back to the back of the mat. And then lower your left knee to the mat. Turn your left foot over. If you're on a hard surface perchance and you have knee issues, you might be encouraged to use a blanket or a towel or something under the left knee. If you have blocks available, you can put them underneath the hands underneath the shoulders. If not, just fingertips on floor. And then as you inhale, stretch the chest forward a little bit. Let both hips lean toward the front of the mat. As you exhale, reach back just a touch. So we're sliding the hips forward, inhale. Sliding them back, exhale. Good. Now, knee over ankle. As you inhale, both arms into the air. This is low lunge. Reach the fingertips high. Anjaneyasana, some people call it. Couple of breaths here. And then with an exhale, return hands to the floor. Walk your right foot forward a little bit. Half monkey pose. Straighten the right knee. Pull the toes toward you. And then lower from the chest. You can use blocks under hands if they're available and that helps you. Take a couple of breaths. The right hip crease wants to pull back. Good. And then lay that right foot back on the floor. Move blocks out of the way if you have them. Fingertips return to the ground. Slide the right foot back, just maybe 4 or 6 inches. If you have a block in the area, you can place it under your left hand or left hand to the mat, to the inside of the right foot. And then as you inhale, swing the right arm out wide to the side and up into the air. We do a little twist. Revolved lunge. Stretch through the fingertips, press back through your left hand, so be long all the way along your front line from fingertip to fingertip. As you inhale, reach the right fingers forward, bicep over the ear. Turn your head to the floor. As you exhale, swing the fingertips back to the ceiling, look up. 2 more times. Good. And then settle here in the twist for 3 more breaths. Awesome, you got this. 1 more breath here. As you exhale, release your right hand to the floor. Move a block out of the way if it's there. Curl the left toes under. Lift the left knee. And then we're just going to rock forward. Left foot returning to right. Forward fold. And then we're going to step the left foot back because I forgot to step when I did my practice. So we're going to face the long edge of the mat now. Outside edges of the feet are parallel. This is a wide leg forward fold. You can take your hands to the back of the knees, back of the calves, or if you have the flexibility and the length, you can wrap fingers around the big toes. And then fold in, forward fold, wide leg. As you inhale, bend the knees, sink the hips, lift the chest. As you exhale, fold. Do that 2 more times. Bend the knees, sink the hips. Use the hands and arms as leverage to really work your back muscles as you do this. 1 more time, hips sink, lift the chest, and then fold in. A couple of breaths here. All right, go ahead and release your hands to the center of the mat. As you inhale, lift halfway up. And then swing the left toes toward the back edge of the mat. Turn onto the toes of your right foot, hands to the inside and outside of the left foot. And we'll release the top of the left foot onto the right foot onto the floor, sorry. And then do the same thing on the other side. So as you inhale, slide both hips forward. As you exhale, slide them back. A lot of the stuff we're doing today is designed to work the back muscles, especially the middle and upper back muscles. A lot of us, including me, have a bit of a hump sort of in their mid or upper back. We're trying to get those muscles to firm that up, create better posture. As you inhale, arms into the air. Here's our low lunge. Spend a couple of breaths. And then with an exhale, return hands to the mat. Slide the left foot forward this time, couple of inches, and then straighten the left knee as the toes pull toward you. Ardha, Hanumanasana, half monkey pose. Chin toward chest, chest toward thighs. Bend in the knee to the extent that you need to make you comfortable. People with tighter hamstrings are really going to feel this. And then roll that left foot onto the floor, slide it back a few inches, walk the hands forward, bend the knee. Let's do a twist. Left hand, sorry, that's the right hand, comes to the mat. Left hand on left hip, spin open toward the side wall, and then lift fingertips into the air. If this doesn't work for your shoulder, keep your hand on your hip. Couple of breaths here. Working to stretch out the front line from thumb to thumb. And then as you inhale, swing the left arm forward, bicep over the ear. As you exhale, fingertips back to the ceiling. Let the head follow. As you inhale, swing the fingers forward, turn to the floor. As you exhale, turn head to the ceiling. And then settle in. You can either look up at your upper hand, or if that doesn't work for your neck so well, look sidewall or look down. You should feel almost like your head is cradled if you're looking up, like it's being held gently. If you feel too much tension in the neck, that's not a proud thing. Turn your left hand to the floor. Curl your right toes under, lift the knee. And then walk to the long edge of the mat, swinging the feet so that outside edges of the feet are once again parallel. And again, you can grab onto the backs of calves or encircle the toes. As you inhale, bend the knees, sink the hips, lift the chest, work the back. Exhale and fold, straighten the legs. 2 more times. And then settle in. Couple of breaths. All right, hands return to underneath the shoulders, and then walk your hands to the front edge of your mat again. So the right foot is forward, the left is back. And then step the left foot to the right foot, find a forward fold. Little swing from side to side. You might want to cradle your forearms. Feel soft, feel relaxed. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Arms go to the sides, fingertips circle around meat, and hands to heart. And then spend a breath or two here, and check in once again. So just a little brief time out. Notice where your energy is in mind and in body. Release your hands to your sides. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. And step your left foot back. Okay, so this time it's Crescent Pose. So we're going to be balanced here, which is a little more difficult for some people. So you may want to widen your stance side to side. And then as you inhale, raise both arms into the air and find your crescent. You can interlace fingers if you like this version, turn it into a little more backbendy thing if you're a backbendy person. Press back through your left heel. Good. Exhale, release fingertips to the ground. Now straighten the right leg. Bring blocks into play if you have them, hands on blocks, or just fingertips or hands to floor or front shin, although that requires a little more balance. So a version of pyramid pose. Nice stretch for the hamstrings, for the backs of the calves, or calf in this case. Bend back into the front knee now. Left hand to the floor. Inhale, lift the right fingertips into the air. Here's our twist. Couple of breaths here. You can look up, sidewall, or down. Feel solid through the back foot. As you inhale, swing the right arm forward. Bicep covers the ear. As you exhale, fingertips to the ceiling. 2 more times. Swing the fingers forward, look down. Look up as the fingers reach high. Once more. You can reach the arm out to the side if that's what works for your body. Not everybody's shoulder works in the same way. And then return both sets of fingertips to the ground and step your feet together, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway rise. Fold as you exhale. Arms wide and up. And back to mountain pose, Tadasana. Let's do the other side. Inhale, lift the fingers. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. This time, we'll step the right foot back, left foot forward, and find our crescent pose. high lunge. Inhale, swing the arms up into the air and find length from the fingertips through the back heel. Feel stable and solid through the middle. Widen your stance if you need to. That supports balance for some people. And again, you can make this a little more back bendy if that's part of your practice. With an exhale, hands return to the floor, and we straighten the left knee. Draw both hip creases back, and then as you exhale, descend the chest toward the front thigh. Find softness if this is a more challenging pose for your hamstrings, your glutes, your low back. Find softness. Find a full flow of breath, one more breath. And then bend into the front knee. Right hand meets mat. Left fingertips reach into the air as you inhale. Here's our twist. Couple of breaths here. Feel the foundation through the front foot, through the front hand, or the lowered hand. And then inhale, swing the left fingertips over the ear. Exhale back to the ceiling. 2 more times. Look down as the hand goes forward. Look up as the hand goes to the ceiling. Once more. Couple more breaths in the twist. Make sure your neck is okay. Press back through your back heel. And then return left hand to the floor. Rock a little bit and step the right foot to the left. Forward fold. Yep. Grab opposite elbows once again. Take a little swing from side to side, our ragdoll. Let everything fall out. Maybe a couple of deep inhales. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, fold. Arms wide, lift up, meet hands, bring them to heart center. And settle in. Just take a couple of breaths in place. Another brief time out, just to feel how you feel. Notice. All right. Do a little more balance, shall we? So settle into your left foot, lift your right heel, and then as both arms go into the air, lift the right knee. You can straighten the leg again or keep the knee bent, whichever works best for you. We're here for 3 breaths, now just 2. Yeah, and then bend the knee, let the hands lower. Now bend forward from the waist, send the right leg back. We're in Warrior 3. Any arm position will do for this, whatever works for you. I have hands out wide to the side, sort of like airplane, I think they call it. Inhale, swing the arms back up into the air. Keep that right foot lifted, knee forward and up. Then reach the heel forward if you want that challenge. 3 breaths. Exhale, lower the hands, bend the knee, and then right foot goes back, bend from the waist, arms out wide. One more time. Here we go. Lift the arms, lift the knee forward, stretch the heel forward. 3 breaths. This is going to start to work the hip. If you need to take a break, take a break. There is no glory in being hurt. And then one more Warrior 3. So goalpost arms, wide arms, arms forward. Any version works. Oh, this is going to start to hurt a little bit. One more breath here. And then rise, lower your foot to the floor, hands to your side, shake your legs out. Yeah, that's some work. Well, if one leg is fun, the other leg is awesome. All right, as you inhale, lift the left knee into the air, arms rise. And again, keep the knee bent. If that's better for you, straighten the leg. If you need to, because your balance doesn't support it, just tap in with the toes. So, some people don't work on one leg as well as the other. Some people don't work well on both legs. And then come into your Warrior 3 posture. 3 breaths. So there's no harm in keeping toes tapped into the floor in any of these positions. You work from where you start. Coming on up, straighten the leg in front as arms rise. And then leg goes back as we bend forward and into Vajrasana 3. We have one more round of this. Rest if you need to. Otherwise, here we go. Foot forward, arms in the air. And then as the knee bends, we fall from the waist forwards, fingertips back, heel back, or any version of Warrior 3 with the hands and arms that works for you. Last breath here. You've got this. Hang on. It's a long breath. And then go ahead and return your foot to the floor. Come on up. Shake your legs out. That's a bit of a workout. Okay, feet at hip distance. Inhale, arms rise, lift long, and then forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Hands to the mat. You can go right to down dog from here or do your plank pose, chaturanga, up dog, down dog, if that serves you. And just spend a couple of breaths in down dog. Use this as an opportunity to start to stretch the backs of the hips out, backs of the legs. We did some work. And then go ahead and bend the knees, lower them to the mat. Turn your tops of your feet over. We're coming up to stand on knees. So shoulders over knees, hips over knees. If, again, you need some padding for your knees, please grab something, a blanket, a towel, whatever might be handy. So standing on knees, hands at the sides. This is Vajrasana. Inhale, swing the arms out and into the air. Meet hands above your head. As you exhale, swing the arms back behind you. As you lower from the waist, fold down, hips to heels. Inhale, arms up into the air. Reach the fingertips high, straighten. Exhale and fold again. Backs of the hands rest on the tailbone. One more time. Inhale up. And exhale, release back and down. That's a child's pose. Well, as long as we're going to do one more round. Sorry. Inhale, arms up once more time. And exhale. Take your hands back behind. Now we're in child's pose. You can widen your knees, release your hands to your sides with the palms facing the ceiling, or any other version with the hands and arms that works for you. Have some breaths. And notice, just as a third-party observer, sort of take a stock of where you are, energy-wise. Are you invigorated? Are you worn out? Are you completely numb? All right, come on forward. We're going to come onto our belly for just a bit. This is some work to continue to strengthen the back, but we're also going to sort of work on strengthening the SI joint, which can be problematic when we're doing all this stuff on one leg. So we're going to try and stabilize that. Hands out to the sides, down by your hips, palms face down. As you inhale, would you let the chest rise very gently? And then exhale, slowly return your head to the mat. And inhale, lift the chest, lift both arms this time, if that's okay for you, and exhale, lower down. Chest, hands, and arms again. Lift, stretch the fingertips back. Exhale and lower. This time, join the right leg in the song and dance. Arms, chest, right leg. And then inhale, left leg, arms, chest, lift, and lower down. Okay, this is for all the marbles. Inhale, both legs, both arms lift. Settle in, belly draws in. As you inhale, widen the knees. As you exhale, pull the knees together. Do that 2 more times. Knees wide, feet wide. Pull the knees together. It only has to be 6 or 8 inches apart. One more time. And then inhale, up, 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 and exhale. Release to the mat. Turn onto a cheek. Shift your hips. You might bend knees, raise your feet into the air. Swing the legs side to side a couple of times. Let the back release. And then returning your feet to the mat. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Press up onto knees. Nice wide knees. Meet the big toes. Hips to heels. Release the chest toward the thighs. Head toward the floor. have some breaths. Child's pose. So for a lot of people, this is the best part. We're coming onto our backs once again. As we started, so we shall end. So work your way onto your back. And as you arrive, bring your knees into your chest, grab onto your shins, draw them in a little bit. You might circle the knees in one direction as we did earlier. Circle in the other direction. Good. And then take your hands to the insides of your knees or insides of the thighs, palms facing outward. So we're going to use these as a little resistance. Knees over hips. As you inhale, let the knees widen out to the sides as well as the feet. As you exhale, draw the knees and feet back to the center, but use resistance of the hands and arms to create a little tension in the inner thighs. Do that a couple of times. So the inhale is out to the sides, pressing the inner thighs away, feet away. Exhale, keep pressing to the inner thighs as the knees come together. One more time. And this time, stay here a couple of breaths. And you can take hands to the inner knees. For those who are a little more flexible, you can raise your heels toward the ceiling, straighten your legs. Just provide a little encouragement from the hands for that open fold. And then exhale, knees together. Bring the knees to the chest one more time. Now release your feet to the floor. Heels at hip distance. Drawn in toward the sitting bones. We're going to do a little bridge pose stuff. And, the heels can be hip width wide, whatever that means to you, wherever it's comfortable. Knees are over the ankles. And then as you inhale, let the hips rise. As you exhale, use the breath to release back to the floor. Keep the knees equidistant as you lift and as you lower. Again. And this time, if it's fun for you, stay in your bridge pose. You can interlace fingers underneath, pressing forearms into the floor. Some people like to take their hands overhead. For those of you who have it in your practice, wheel is a good option here. If you have a block available and you want a supported bridge pose, you can take the block underneath your sacrum. And if you do use supported bridge, don't just rest your hips on the block. Keep some activation through the feet, through the backs of the legs, through the low back. A couple more breaths here. Find a full flow of breath. And then with an exhale, go ahead and release back down to the mat. As you do, draw both knees toward the chest once again. Hands on the kneecaps. One of the simplest of postures, Apanasana it's called. Take an inhale. As you exhale, bend the elbows, draw your knees in toward your chest. As you inhale, straighten the legs. Let the knees ride forward. Exhale brings them in. Stretch the low back, the glutes, hammies. Inhale, ride the knees forward. With your own breath, in your own time. 3 or 4 more rounds. All right. Arms out wide to the sides. Form a T once again. Knees together, more or less over the hips. Take an inhale. Then as you exhale, let's swing the knees over to the right side. You can turn your head over your left shoulder only if that is comfortable for your neck. If you wish, you can encourage the twist a little bit more by taking your right hand to the outside of the left knee or thigh. If it's in your practice, you can straighten the upper leg, the left leg, toward the side wall, or straighten both legs out to the side. pulling the toes toward you. For the more flexible, you may be able to grab a toe with your right hand. Spend some breaths. Still find a fullness of breath and express it in your left chest, your left ribs. And you might make the exhale a little longer than the inhale. And then as you inhale, bring those knees back to the center line. Use the exhale to swing across to the left side. Head over the right shoulder or facing the ceiling, whatever works best for your neck. And as you settle in, decide what is best for you on this side, which might be different than the other. So maybe hand to outer knee or thigh, maybe one or both legs reaching toward the side wall. Settle into a full breath. And then as you're ready, slowly lift those knees back up to center. Hands meet shins, draw in, circle again through the knees, through the hips. And then we come to Ananda Balasana, happy baby pose. You can grab the inside or outside of each foot, or grab the big toes if that's your fashion, and just play a little. The actual translation from Sanskrit of Ananda is bliss. So hopefully you're finding some bliss as we approach the end of practice and finally work our way into Shavasana. So any leg position that's comfortable for you. I like to take the arms a little wide from the side body, turn the palms upward. Let the surface of the shoulder blades settle onto the floor. Close your eyes. Allow your breath to soften. And then just as we settle in, take a quick scan. So notice the muscles of your face, of your jaw, of your tongue. Notice your chest, your ribs, your abdomen. Notice the arms and hands, the legs, the feet. And notice soft breath entering and exiting the body. Come into complete stillness, not just of body, but as best you can, stillness of mind. might be willing to make some movements in your fingers, maybe wrists. Circulate through the toes, maybe ankles. And then a soft turn or two of the head from one side to the other. As you're ready, bend each knee and turn. Place your feet on the floor. And then fall off to your right side. Pillow your head with your arm. A couple of transition breaths. As you're ready, you can start to press into the mat, lifting yourself back up to come to find a comfortable seated posture. And as you arrive, let your hands rest on your inner knees or thighs. Have your eyes closed, and once again, just notice. Notice what you notice. It's called metacognition. With hands coming to heart center. Take another couple of deep breaths as we close practice. And find something about which to be grateful, someone or something in your life. Take that energy into your heart space. Even in these difficult times, there are still many things about which we can be thankful. And then if you would, as if we were actually at the museum in the big hall, with the resonant sound of Om, let us utter one silent or out loud Om. Deep inhale. Om. Thank you, my friends. Namaste.